in learning about our maps and learning about how to create a beautiful map. So, I will ask you this. Is Florida a state or a country?
Oh,
Who said
gosh.
that?
Matthew?
No. Is Florida a state?
State.
Thank you. Do we live in Florida?
Yes.
Okay, so because we live in Florida, who can tell me some things? What is it like to live in Florida? Raise your hand and tell me, what is it like to live in Florida? You can talk to me about the weather, or you can tell me about the food. Aiden, what's it like to live in Florida?
Hot.
Yeah, it's hot. It's super duper hot. We're probably the hottest state besides Texas out of the entire country. Vincent, what do you think it's like?
The funnest day of my life, Disney World.
Disney World. I'm glad you mentioned Disney World, Vincent, because I want you guys to look at the board. This is Disney World, is it not?
Oh, yes,
Yes, it is Disney World. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Disney World.
I have not.
Believe it or not, I've lived in Florida my whole life, and I have only been to Disney World once, and I was younger
I
than you.
think I did.
But that's okay if you haven't been there. What about, have you been to Islands of Adventure, or Universal, or SeaWorld,
I've been to SeaWorld.
or anywhere extra fun? Yes, you've been to SeaWorld. So Florida has a lot of really cool theme parks and extra fun stuff. Up. We're still
Okay.
listening. What is,
Yes.
why don't you look at this animal?
Absolutely.
I'm
Go
gonna tell
through.
you
You're
something
welcome.
really cool.
Ellie, come here, please.
This is not a leopard. This is a Florida panther. Now,
I saw a panther.
listen.
Like a bobcat.
Listen, a Florida panther is one of the most endangered animals in the whole wide world, and particularly here in Florida. They used to live all the way up into Kentucky, believe it or not, years and years and years ago.
You're not
Kentucky
telling
is
me.
very far north of us. And now the Florida panther
You know how you
only
work with
is
Miss
in Florida. It's
Would
in a
it be?
very, very small region
Well,
south of
you're gonna
us.
work with someone else again.
It's in the Everglades and a little
Please,
bit more
take him
south
to the
of
speech
us.
room, please.
And they are so
She's really
endangered
nice.
that they die out easily, and that if you are to hit a panther, sometimes you know how animals run out in front of you on the road and there's nothing you can do. If you hit a panther, you have to call very special people. My boyfriend is one of those people. He works for the FWC, which is the Florida Wildlife Commission. He is a game warden and he's a police officer. And
I told you the
yesterday,
speech
actually,
room.
this is very sad, but a Florida panther was hit yesterday and he got called to it, and the lady who lives all the way down in the Florida Keys, many, many miles away, had to drive all the way up here and take the panther because she's a biologist and she's going to study it and see, learn more about the panther so that we can learn more to protect them. Now, Florida also has, I tried to be cool and hit the button, but it didn't go. What is this animal? It's an alligator.
It's like a crocodile.
It looks like a crocodile, but it's not.
Alligator.
It's an alligator. Let's say that word, alligator.
Alligator.
Raise your hand if you've ever seen an alligator in real life. Maybe you saw it at the zoo, or maybe you were out fishing.
I've seen it at my dreams. I saw it at the zoo. It
was
like that chair.
Zip it. Yes, we've all seen them. They're very scary animals. Aiden, I told you, if you don't keep it on your wrist, it's going to be mine, sir. Anyway, alligators are very scary animals. Do not walk up to one and try to pet it because it will probably bite your hand off, and I don't want you guys to get your hands bitten off. Alligators are also very special to Florida because our state has the most alligators of any other state in the entire country. Now, isn't that cool? We also have a football team called the Florida Gators.
That's my favorite football. That's
Cheyenne,
And there's one more thing.
put those on your desk.
My favorite team is the Seahawks. I like the.
What is this?
Orange.
It's an orange. Can anybody guess what state has a lot of oranges?
Georgia.
Isabella? Florida. It's where we live. We are the orange state. Florida supplies more oranges than any other state in the United States. Now, I actually brought enough for each of you guys to have an orange after we're done with this lesson so you can eat it at spa time. And if you don't want it, that's fine. Just say, oh, thank you. I don't really like oranges. But anyway, have you guys, maybe you go to the grocery store and you're like, I want some orange juice. And there's actually a brand of orange juice, a very famous brand, called Florida's Natural. And guess what? comes from these little guys that you can find in your backyard, or you can find them at the store. So now we are going to read a little bit more about Florida.
Oh yeah, I like Florida.
And I had emailed this little article to myself, but obviously it didn't go through, but that's okay.
What is it? The Patriot. I only drink the chicken.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh, this is her. This is her lesson.
Yes, Florida is the Sunshine State. Aiden. I'll hold on to it for you. I'll keep it safe, I promise. And the other piece too. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll hold it to it. Florida. What about Florida? History. All right, can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I know you can. You don't have to read it word for word because I'm going to read it to you, Nathan. We're going to read this along. That's the Florida flag. Raise your hand if you've ever seen the Florida flag before. Yeah, you see it all the time. Sometimes your school will have it out front. I don't know if your school in particular does. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I didn't see it this morning, but I wanted to look for it. Florida was, some people arrived in Florida over 12,000 years ago.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. It is said that Juan Ponce de Leon, let's say his name, you can say it very fancy because he's a very fancy man. Juan Ponce de Leon. He was a Spanish explorer who landed in Florida in 1513, the year 1513. That was over 500 years ago. That was a very, very long time ago. So Florida is a very old state.
You need the pen.
Oh. I knew that. Beautiful. Florida was named Florida because it had a lot of flowers. Do you guys see a lot of flowers when you go outside?
Yes.
Florida means flowers. There you go. You just learned a Spanish term. Florida means flowers. Yes, Nico. So, our friends are talking. Yes, Nico.
Something interesting about alligators, if you actually run in a zigzag line, it will slow them down so you have a better chance of escaping than getting a bit.
That's an excellent point, Nico. Thank you very much. That's actually very true. Hopefully, I hope you are never in this sort of situation, but if you are and you are being chased by an alligator, run in a zigzag line because it confuses their little brains and they're not going to know what to do.
But not a dinosaur.
So you will outsmart that alligator.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, continuing on. Florida is a peninsula. Let's say that word. Peninsula. A peninsula means that it is surrounded by water. Which one of our classmates is sitting on the Florida part of our carpet? Gianna, Matthew, and Leland are close to it. If we look at it, I know some of you guys might not be able to see it, but see how Florida sticks out like a sore thumb, and there's lots and lots of water around it? Yep, that's a peninsula. Okay, attention back up here. That was interesting and cool, I know. And look, here's the Florida wildlife. What was this animal again? The panther, the Florida panther. Good job. Then we have the state bird, which is actually a mockingbird. I actually didn't know this because you would think that the Florida state bird would be something very tropical, maybe like a flamingo or like a heron, right? But it is actually a mockingbird. Don't point. The state. Oh wait.
That C is gone. You guys are being very rude.
Yes, you guys are being very rude, and I will take away that C
Thank
myself
you.
because I don't appreciate it. Anyway, the Florida flower is what's called an orange blossom. Can anybody take a wild guess and imagine what could possibly grow out of an orange blossom? Lily D. An orange, which is something that we eat, which is something that we brought. You probably see orange blossoms outside and you don't even realize that. You're like, oh, an orange is going to bloom out of there. I wish I had a bigger picture of it, but it's like, it almost looks like a daisy. It has little white pellets that come out, petals, and it has a little yellow center. It's very pretty. And that's a state quarter. It's kind of boring, so I wasn't really going to talk too much about that. And I don't really have one for you guys to see, which would have been much better to look at. Fun facts about Florida. Florida can be an excellent vacation spot, as we know, because we have cool theme parks like, what's a theme park in Florida? Karma?
Disney World.
Disney World. What's another one? Riley?
A hotel.
Yeah, we do have a lot of hotels, that's true. What's a theme park, Aviana? SeaWorld. It's a beautiful place. Have you guys ever been to Legoland?
Yeah.
It's okay if you haven't been. A lot of people forget that we even have Legoland, but it's a very cool place.
My brother had been there.
If you ever do get to see it, I suggest that you go. You would like it. Florida also had this very cool place called Cape Canaveral, and it is actually where the Kennedy Space Center launches off rockets. When you are in 6th grade, sometimes they take you, Brett and Nathan, to the Kennedy Space Center, and you get to look inside of the rocket, and you get to learn more about space, and it's a super duper cool place, and I hope that one day you guys get to go.
I want to go.
Okay. So now that we've covered that,
I'm 16.
what is, I have a question for you, what is that P word that we just learned that means Florida? What is Florida? It begins with a P. It's surrounded by water. Aiden. Peninsula. Excellent job. What was that endangered animal? Sadie. The what? The panther. Good job. What was another animal that we learned about in Florida, Matthew?
Alligator.
Alligator. Very good. What is the fruit of Florida? Carter.
Orange.
The orange. And what does the orange bloom out of? What's the flower? Ooh, tricked you guys. Isabella, do you remember? A blossom, an orange blossom. It's beautiful. Okay, so what you're going to do, that was easy peasy. I knew you guys would catch it super duper good. You are going to get a sticky note. You guys have never done these before, but these are called exit tickets. And an exit ticket, in order for you allowed to leave the classroom to go to spa, you have to complete this beautiful little pink piece of paper. It's very simple. You don't even have to write an entire sentence. You have to just tell me one thing. You are going to get your piece of paper and it's going to say, today I learned. And guess what? You're going to write something that you learned. And I know you're super smart, but you're not going to tell me, oh, I knew everything. I didn't learn anything because I'm the smartest person in the whole wide world. Because I learned stuff when I read this to present it to you guys. So, we just brainstormed a little bit. You can refer up
It's good there, guys. You can just leave it.
You
It's
can
good.
talk to your classmates. If you're absolutely stuck and you're like, I can't remember anything we learned, raise your hand and I will help you out. Well, Jellikins, when you are done, raise your hand. I will come, Brianna, Brett, I will come and collect your sticky note. And it's not quite time for spa, but I will ask you if you want orange, and if you want orange, I will give you an orange, but you're not to eat it until we go to spa. Okay? Everybody understand? Well, Jellikins, thank you, Matthew. Okay, please go back to your desks.
No playing on the orange though. Paper packet.
That's okay, I'm going to do this. I know, it's
All
okay.
the orange and you put it in the look, guys, soil.
Yes, we can. You think it's a good choice?
You should be writing. I shouldn't hear your voice. If you have a big piece of paper in front of you, you should be writing. Nathan, what are you doing?
She's definitely taking me.
I don't know. How are you doing? Thank you.
What's your name?
Yeah, I'm going to put your names on them. Thank you. Yes, Lily, please. You don't remember? Think about it. What did you learn? What did you read about? Beautiful. Oh, you know what, Brett? I know where that is. I told you. There you go, my dear. Sorry, you left it. Yes, Gianna. You don't remember anything? What we learned about? We learned about animals and alligators and oranges.
How do you spell alligator?
We don't walk up and give it. Like, no, I found it out. One thing you learned.
This is fun. How do you spell alligator?
Write it. Write it. Write it. endangered. Sound it out the very best you can, okay? Because it's a long word. Yes, Lily T. Good. Stick it.
Oh, and you can take a picture, Gianna. You're good.